Yeah.
That's all good.
The time is 6:05. We will call this meeting to order. Will you please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Whittington.
Present.
Ms. Nesbitt. Present. Ms. Contreras. Ms. Cameron. Present. Ms. Rogers. Ms. Gardner.
Present.
Dr. Trejo.
Present.
Ms. Kane. Dr. Lawrence. President Gardner.
Present.
Expecting that.
Ms. Nichols. Present.
At this time, can we have approval of the agenda? Is there a motion?
So moved. Second. Ms. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. Cameron. Aye. Ms. Contreras. Ms. Nesbitt. Aye. Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
At this time, we will have presentations. Summer 2024 wrap-up.
Ms. Gardner, I have a question. The recording, is that the district or is that outside? I'm just untrying, because we've never recorded.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to what the recording is.
I'm with the Harvey World Herald.
The Harvey
World Herald.
Okay, the Harvey Herald is here recording, and this is the open meeting.
Okay, I was just asking like who they were with. Thank you. I bet that right. I'm embarrassed.
Good evening, everyone. We just wanted to do a summer wrap-up, so it's fun to want to come out. We had a fantastic summer. We had 2 sessions of summer school. One was at mine, Angelo, and it was grades K through 2, K through 3, and then at Bryant, we had Ms. Brumfield and we had Mr. Gondek, and they did grades 4 through 6. And then we'll talk about boot camp and Institute Way. So our theme for this year is building together today to better the lives of our children tomorrow. And that was one of our cuties on his first day pre-K. And this is Ms. Matthews' part, which I'll do for her. So the students donated treats and competed against each other in track and field. They had color wars. And then they did a lot this summer focusing on strategies and SEL. Some of the focuses on math and geometry, STEM or geometry standards for kindergarten through 5th. They added yoga to their curriculum. Again, they talked a lot about social emotional. Each week they had a student of the week. This year we had counselors on staff to help lead some of those SEL sessions. They had daily recess. And then they had a summer school midpoint, and they had grade level meetings to talk about a SWOT analysis on the standards talking class. And then as you can see, Ms. Matthews has posted some of the work that the kids did during summer school, and then some of the strategies that they chose to focus on was using the CUBE strategy for math and race writing and ELA. And then they had 2 very fun field trips. They got to do the Sea Dog at Navy Pier and then Jump and Jam. Their end of the summer celebration was a lot of fun. They had a Michael Jackson impersonator. So he pretty much put on a concert. It was really awesome. I was actually lucky enough to go, so we kind of rocked out and jammed out for that. And then Ms. Matthews secured some different prizes for the kids, such as free movie tickets, free meals from Applebee's, toys, prizes. And then we also had a lot of our board members help donate, and they were a part of that celebration at Maya Angelou for that very last day. And then we'll let Ms. Farber talk about hers.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Michelle Brumfield, and I had the pleasure of leading summer school at Bryant.
And just a few quick data points. We had about 125 students with an average daily attendance of around 85%. One of the things I really wanted to highlight was connected to students to build a brighter future. And I really want to say I was impressed with the teachers that worked during our, summer program, because they really worked hard not only to build positive relationships with students, but they worked really hard and maintained really good relationships with each other. And so one of the things I really liked was the fact that the teachers who were already at Bryant really kind of opened if there was a shortage of resources or whatever. They really spread that message of we work together, we help each other. And so throughout the summer, I was very impressed with our teachers working together. One of the things I really want to highlight is building and sustaining connections. And so SEL was a major focus that we kind of focused on. So every day we had SEL, every day the assistant principal, Brownbeck, and I, we went into classrooms every day. We had check-ins with students if needed. You'll actually see one of the pictures where we're actually engaging in activities with the students. So when teachers did small group activities or had SEL lessons, they invited us and we always engaged in those activities. I also want to show you, this is our social worker, Miss Buchanan. She was working with one of our teachers, Miss Buckoy. In that picture, they were doing the case of the 3 little pigs. So it was like a debate and discussion. They were getting students ready for that. You'll also see over there one of our teachers during the summer doing small group instruction with students. I'd also like to say, if you want to click the next one, or I can click it, is that I really wanted them to take risks. And so several of our teachers participated in Kagan training during the summer. And so I said, well, this is the perfect opportunity for teachers to practice it before they implement it and roll it out during the school year. So you'll see one of our teachers here implementing the Kagan strategy, quiz, trade, and kind of working with students. So part of taking risks meant trying something out that's out of your comfort zone for teachers, and really utilizing the professional development and professional learning opportunities that the district provides. How can we incorporate that in the class? So you'll see here, we had a lot of opportunities where teachers were practicing those Kagan strategies. We even had opportunities where there were class competitions. So teachers are collaborating with other teachers to do something bigger with whether it was a math competition or ELA. So it was just really a great opportunity for students as well as teachers to take risks. Small group instruction, I kind of mentioned that to you as well in the class competition. So you'll see this is the 3 little pigs debate. The trial of the 3 little pigs, and also you'll see Miss Buckoy once again doing an SEL lesson. So like I said, we were in classrooms every day, engaging with students, building positive relationships, contacting homes. I mean, I just can't tell you how dynamic a staff this was.
And in the staff feedback too, we got excellent feedback about both Ms. Matthews, Ms. Bromfield, and Mr. Grombeck, just what great leaders they were for summer school. And I know that the staff, we had a lot of positive feedback and really enjoyed themselves as well.
Our 2 field trips, our first field trip was to Flyover at Navy Pier. And so if anybody has been to Flyover at Navy Pier, you'll probably know that it was a tour. It was like was it 3D? Maybe it was 4D. 4D. I think that's right. Miss Matthews said she went. I said, I really want to take the students. She said they're going to absolutely love it. Yeah. And that was probably one of their favorite field trips. It's on the next slide. But this one was another one about risk taking. We went to Gizmos. And I don't know if you can see, but some of the students decided they wanted to do zip lining. Oh. And so, because we arranged for Brooks to be for Bryant to be the only school there that day. So it was just a great opportunity for students, and even a few staff members took risks as well, and they were also on those. So I just kind of wanted to show you some pictures. Our teachers were always really engaged with the students. Like I said, we really focused on building positive relationships.
Okay. All right. So a smashing success. We had a total of 4 field trips. We hired 15 teachers for grades K through 3 at Angelo. 126 K through 3 students attended. And Bryant, we had 15 teachers, grades 4 through 8, and 113 4 through 8th grade students. And then we also had 1 robotics program. Boot camp was probably the largest boot camp we've ever had. We had boot camp in our district for several years, started by Ms. Nichols. This year we had 67 participants came. That included parapros, that included our long-term subs, included our regular teachers, and then administration was at a lot of our boot camps. Some of the sessions again included 5 days of Kagan training. We did 2 at the beginning of summer just to kind of kick it off, and then we offered an additional 5. And the really cool thing about Kagan was that it was through ISC4, so we were allowed to have other districts come, surrounding districts, and participate if they chose to send teachers. We had 5 days of teacher clarity, 2 sessions of college and career readiness, which is a new program for our district this year. It was on a grant that we worked on. We worked on the math priority standards. We had Dr. Kathleen Weber come out. We really enjoyed her presentation when we had our data retreat. And we know that's been one of the areas that our district really wants to start focusing on is math. So we went really deep with math this year. We had math classroom expectations. Again, Kathleen Weber came out and she walked us through the Pearson Access Next reports. And then we had ISC4 wrap it up with rolling out some sessions with the Illinois Comprehensive Learning Plan, which is starting to come out a little bit of last year, and then they're going to be doing more about it this year. New teacher orientation, we had a total of 26. We had a lot of fun. You can see Miss Norma Youngwine addressing, Miss Garner, Miss Rumfield. They were all very interactive with our participants. The reason that they're up and moving is we wanted to use some of the Kagan strategies that we had been learning and have the staff put them in practice. So you can see everyone was active and participating. So instead of just a long day of sit and get, we were able to incorporate our new learning strategies into those days. And then my favorite was Institute Day. It was so much fun. So we here at District Office, we said that we have to actually get like a dance and a chant and stuff because we felt a little left out when all the schools were doing their spirit days. So we started our year off with a bang with a really fun Institute Day. And that was our presentation. And questions?
Any questions?
All right.
Thank you. We would like to thank Ms. Bronson and Ms. Katie Gratton for their presentation. Our next presentation will be the educational consulting firm.
I didn't know if I needed to, so I just printed out the PowerPoint for you to see. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Dr. Maureen White. I am the president of the Network Room. I know that's where I know some of you from. The Network Room is a 17-year-old business that I started back in 2007. We'll be celebrating the 17th year next month in October. It evolved because we knew the plight of the teachers in the classroom, and so we sought out in a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art building there in South Holland. We stayed there for 7 years. And then our work evolved into pushing into schools because what they realized is not only did they get the bang for their buck with us pushing in and building more capacity, but we also began to help with the implementation. We are approved by HSD to provide CPDUs for teachers and administrative academy credits for administrators. And we do that as needed, and we still do this work. Excuse me. Dr. Sanford is my lead principal developer. It is another arm of the Network Room. We know that principals have to be developed. In order to do this work alongside teachers, they have to be smart, right? I'm going to say this because I always said, and this is what I believe, smart is not what you are. Smart is what you become, right? And so we just keep getting smarter in this work. We keep getting smarter and we keep making sure that other people are smarter in work to be able to impact kids. And so I'm going to start with some data, because we ground our work in data, in research. I'm going to start with research because we ground our work in research. The U.S. Department of Education report says, of public school principals who remain at the same school, called stayers, 43% plan to remain a principal as long as they were able. 20% were undecided at that time. 19% plan to remain until eligible for retirement benefits from their job. And 11% plan to remain until a more desirable job opportunity came along. So we ask ourselves, what does that data tell us about the principal job experience? What it says is that principals say that the reason for their job instability and movement is because of the lack of professional support, student behaviors, and long work hours. Okay? That means something. That means that we have to attend to those needs. If we want to maintain stable schools, there has to be the consistency of the leader, right? And so we have to address why principals are leaving. And so that is the principal development, that's the arm where we support districts in growing their principals. You'll see, and you all can't see, sorry, I would have brought a PowerPoint, my apologies. The layers of principal leadership. In 2018, I said, and I looked at the layers of principal leadership and what principals need to know and be able to do to be effective leaders. And so there are 5 layers. Layer 1 is positive school culture. Layer 2 is high-performing teams. Layer 3 is standards and instruction. Layer 4 is evidence-based decision-making. And layer 5 is time matters. So these 5 layers encompass the entire job of the principal. They're chunked in a way that leaders will know and understand what their work is and the why behind the work that they do. And so I just want to kind of give you a brief overview of those 5 layers. When we look at culture, we're talking about something that's really simple, the way we do school. Has the leader set the standard in the school? How are they socializing? This is the way we do school here, right? How are they socializing that to staff, and how are they enforcing it? That's important, right? They have to be intentional. They have to be intentional about the relationships that they build. Relationships just don't happen because you're the boss, right? You have to be doing something to entreat people. And there's one of my favorite quotes is, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? That's important. And so we have to always be valuing people. How are we valuing people? It is a basic human need to feel valued. Right? And so we work with principals on what are they doing to build this culture, how are they valuing people, and one thing that we work with them on is a monthly morale calendar. You got to plan for this. What are you doing monthly for teachers that say, I value you and I'm so glad you work here? How is it you walk past a teacher and you're walking so fast and you're going so fast that you never really hear them, right? But taking that time to hear them, her son plays baseball, and the next time you see her, you go, hey, how'd the baseball championship go? Right? Because people want that. That's what people deserve, right? And so we work with the principals on setting the culture for the school. We work with them on high-performing teams. How are you building the capacity from within? How are you making people smarter, right? Because you have to be smarter to do this work. And in order to do that, you have to set these standards and the instruction. That's another layer, standards and instruction. It's a lot of work to do, but you can't do all the work at one time. And so you got to prioritize the work. What are the instructional priorities? I call them big rocks. What's your big rock? Principals ought to be able to name what your 3 big rocks are. And then that's the intentional work. Because if you're prioritizing everything, you're not prioritizing anything. And so you've got to prioritize what the work is that you're going to be intentional about, and what's going to be done, and what you're monitoring, because you can't monitor everything. What you're monitoring, what you're looking at the outcomes on, and how you're course correcting based on the outcomes that you desire. And then there's the data. There's a lot of data in schools, right? We don't collect data for the sake of collecting data. What data will you use? If you're not going to use the data, then don't do it. It's just some more numbers. So be intentional around what data are you going to use to be able to impact student achievement. Identify that data, use that data with fidelity. And then just lastly, time matters. When principals talk about the attrition rate and not having the long hours, it's because they're not prioritizing the work. If you have worked, and we know that it's not an 8-hour job, right? But it ain't no 10, 12-hour job either. Because if you're in the school all day, then you didn't prioritize the work. If you're in the school all night, you didn't prioritize and manage your time well during the day. Because you should have good work-life balance, right? And you're no good for anybody if you don't have the balance for yourself and that family. And so we work with the principals on ensuring that they have good work-life balance. And so one way that we do that is with predictable schedules. You have to predict your work. You just don't show up to work and you deal with every problem that comes your way that day. Okay, good, I'm done. Nope, you make a predictable schedule. You say, I'm going to do this, right? It's predictable because things happen, and so you're just predicting your time spent. But what it allows you to do, you're just not popping in a classroom because I'm going to go in the classrooms. Nope, when you plan to go in the classroom, you say, I want to see Miss Jones's classroom management today. I want to see Mr. Watkins. I want to see how he's engaging kids in conversation because you plan for that. And so this is the work that we do to ensure that principals are getting what they need to feel like they are making an impact in student achievement. Dr. Sanford.
Yeah. So Dr. White shared with you our 5 layers of leadership. This is the what. Here's the how. We have individualized coaching. So we go into each school once a week, but we oftentimes do it twice a week to ensure that our principals are moving along these 5 layers. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Some of our principals understand that time matters, and they have that down. Some of our principals have high-performing teams, no standards-based instruction. That's not where they need to be. And so we give a diagnostic at the very beginning, and we work with our principals collaboratively, with them one-on-one, knee-to-knee, if you will, to ensure that we're providing them with the services and the supports that they need. Because at the end of the day, you all want to know 3 things from us, and here are the 3 things we're going to be held accountable for. Number 1, talent matters. The more we make principals better, then ultimately we make teachers better. If we make teachers better, we ultimately make students better. And so you will be able to judge us based upon that one criteria. Number 2, we talk about data. We talk about understanding exactly what to do with the data. We have a protocol called Know Your Numbers. We utilize this Know Your Numbers to help teachers and students understand where am I, what am I deficient in, and how do I make sure that the next test I'm better proficient. And then finally, it's about morale. Nobody wants to stay in a place where number 1, they're not appreciated, number 1, they aren't motivated. And so we work on those 3.
That's right.
And so again, we got nothing before you long. We want to thank you all for your time. And we'll take any questions at this time.
All right, the floor is open. Ms. Dunn.
Hi. How long is the mentorship for? Is it for the duration of the year or?
So it is always our hope that that is for a year, because that's how we see the impact. What you'll see in there is an audit also, and what that tells you, and we do those audits as often as you wish. And so what the audit says is, when we came to you, to this principal, this is what we saw, right? After the work, this is where we ended. So you'll always know the progress that we're making with leaders through the audit. And so it is our hope to impact effectively that it is over a year's time so that you can see the difference in your leaders and your students. I think it's important to say this too. We're talking about everybody winning, right? This is not, when we impact principals, as Dr. Sanford said, you're going to see the outcome with teachers. We want to know that, I mean, looking at lesson plans is important. If they didn't plan, it didn't happen. right? We know when they made it up at the stop sign, right? We know that. We can walk into a classroom and we know that happened right over there, right? So how are we looking at lesson plans and how are we getting feedback? And so these are some of the things that, that we are helping principals to understand the important things that impact student achievement. Because as a result, the kids become smarter.
Another question?
Have you worked with any other districts in the southern suburbs?
We have. As a matter of fact, 3 years in 144, we worked in 205. We worked in Creek-Monique, 201U. So yes, we've been around. We've been with 12 states doing principal and teacher development as well.
Thank you.
Sure.
Nothing, she just said some of the things that I want to, you got it all, what I wanted to hear, because there's several things that I'd like to see happening in the district, and you expound upon them without me even looking at it, so. Thank you.
Ms. Nesbit, I know you had quite a few questions.
Yeah, I emailed, and then that's in the packet, the stuff that I asked about. I think it's the audit. I was really impressed by that, so yeah, that was important to me.
All right. Well, Ms. White, Mr. Sanford, we would like to thank you for coming out and doing the presentation.
Thank you, so thank you.
We're sure you will be hearing from us. Dr. Lawrence will be in touch with you, and maybe we can move forward.
Okay. Thank you all. Thanks so much.
Have a good evening. Thank you. And we understand if you have to leave. We know. Use the time.
Appreciate you.
Use the time. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at her and I could tell she was. Yeah, and you must too. Okay. Correspondence. At this time, do we have any correspondence? No correspondence. We don't have a president's report as of now. We're gonna move on to the approval of the minutes. Special Board of Education meeting minutes, August 1st. Special Board of Education minute, meeting, August 12th, and regular Board of Education minutes, meeting, August 19th.
Second.
Any questions? Call roll.
Ms. Rogers. Aye. Ms. Cameron. Aye. Mr. Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit. Ms. Gutierrez. Aye. Ms. Gutierrez. Aye. President Gardner.
Aye.
My apologies. Motion carried.
Okay.
All on camera, don't go.
Next on the agenda, we have our business operation report. Ms. Nichols.
All right, good evening again, everyone. The business operations report for the month of September 2024. The first item is accounts receivable. In your packets, you should have a statement of revenue by fund, which reflects the total amount of revenue for the month of August, in the amount of $2,678,000, with a total year-to-date revenue received of $4,710,000. I would like to bring to your attention that when we created these statements, it was based on last year's approved budget, so I will go back and update the reports for July and August to reflect the approved budget after tonight, okay? The next item is accounts payable. There were 4 accounts payable for the month of September. The grand total is $1,816,662.67. Administration recommends approval.
So moved. Second.
Will we call the roll?
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers. Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Gutierrez.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I just want to back up a minute and go back to accounts receivable. I kind of paused a little bit. Do we need to take action on that item for the revenue?
You gave us numbers, right? So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
It's a normal number, didn't know.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. For item C, the payroll, this includes payroll for both July and August. The total payroll for July is $346,799.17. For August, the total payroll is $775,780.95 for a grand total of $1,122,580.12. Administration recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers. Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item D, there are 2 facility usage requests. The first item is action to approve the Joliet South Suburban Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
It's Joliet area. It's Joliet area.
Facility usage request, administration recommends approval.
The motion?
Second.
I would add pending certificate of insurance, because I still haven't submitted it. I have a paid receipt for it, but we haven't received the documentation. So I do want to, so both of these are pending. I would ask that the motion be amended to pending certificate of insurance.
Excuse me, I was going to do that.
I know, that's why I jumped you. I don't know.
All right. Can we get,
Would you like for me to reread that?
No, the whole name up.
can we get a motion with the amendment to it?
So,
So move.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Cameron. Aye. Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit. Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
I know.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item 2, administration recommends action to approve Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Joliet Area South Suburban Alumni Chapter. Facility usage request pending insurance. Administration recommends approval.
it's a long one.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
The first.
Ms.
The
Rogers.
first, Ms. Cameron.
Yeah.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers. President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And item E is the budget for FY25. Administration recommends action to approve the 2024-25 budget.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That concludes the business operation report for the month of September.
All right, we would like to thank Ms. Nichols for her hard work and helping balance our budget. As she gave in her report earlier, but it looked good. Okay, next we have on the agenda committee reports. Curriculum, please.
Yes, so we met on September 4th. Ms. Cameron was present during, with our team. So we had several agenda items. We just provided a preschool update on the enrollment numbers. We are pretty much full, 98% full in our full day. And our half day, they're still not full, but we're working on adding additional screening dates so that we can get those classrooms full. We also provided an update on a new teacher mentoring program to ensure that the new teacher is provided the support during the school year. Ms. Grattan also provided a MTSS update. We talked about some of the strategies that we're utilizing to help improve attendance and behavior as well, and utilizing SEL strategies. We did also talk about the teacher evaluation handbook, and we will bring that to the board at the end of the school year, just for the as we start looking at updating it during this year, since right now we're utilizing the handbook from 23-24 because of the process of negotiations. Ms. Delgado provided a bilingual update. We do have a grant, Elevating Educators Grant, that has not yet been utilized, but we are able to ask for the extension for this school year to provide the district. We were given $16,494 that will go towards tuition for teachers seeking their bilingual and ESL endorsement. So we have up until September 30th to, to seek interest if we want to utilize those funds this year, which we do. We definitely want to, because we do see that need. That's all I have.
Are there any questions?
So move to accept the report.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Rogers. Aye. Ms. Contreras. Aye. Ms. Cameron. Aye. Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay, the junior has DTAC, there's no
No, that's a city.
there's no DTAC report. We have finance, Ms. Hawkins, Ms. Nesbit.
The Finance Committee met on September 3rd, 2024. Meeting was called to order at 4:30 p.m. Present was myself, Assistant Superintendent Dana Nichols, Dr. Lawrence, and Yadira Garcia. We discussed the fiscal year 23 audit. The audit has been completed by Baker Tilly and filed with the State Board of Education. Highlights from the audit report were shared, which included the following: the amount of cash and investments held by TTO could not be confirmed due to improper bank reconciliation procedures. Property taxes were not allocated to funds properly. Liability accounts are not balancing to $0 and resulted in a debit balance of $1,093,253. There were no abnormal transactions. There were no discrepancies or disagreements with management. All laws and regulations were fully compliant. The management representation letter was reviewed, which attests to the accuracy of the financial information the district submitted to the auditor. There were 3 corrective action letters submitted related to: 1, ensuring property tax revenues are properly allocated; 2, ensuring the TTO follows bank reconciliation procedures to provide accurate cash and investment statements; and 3, ensuring the TTO follows bank reconciliation procedures to balance liability accounts. Next item was appointment of trustees. HB 305 was discussed, which requires school boards to appoint either a school board member or school district employee to serve as a trustee of the Township Treasurer's Office by October 8th, 2024. The Finance Committee recommends that the board select the trustee for Harvey 152. Next item discussed was the Angelo elevator contract. The manufacturer's warranty for the elevator at Angelo School will expire in May 2025. The Schindler contract for continued maintenance and inspections were presented in the amount of $5,820 per year for a 5-year period, which would start May 9th, 2025 and end May 8th, 2030. The contract includes a renewal clause for subsequent renewal periods unless terminated in writing 90 days before, but not more than 120 days before the termination date. The architect has reviewed the contract and has stated that it aligns to industry standards. Ms. Nesbitt inquired about the service agreements for the elevators at Bryan and Whittier. This information will be provided during the next meeting. Ms. Nesbitt also requested that the after-hours rate is included in the agreement. Next item, Whittier change order, roof change order. The previous board poll was reviewed to address any outstanding concerns with the project. Next item was TRS, flex benefit and penalty payments. TRS has billed the district for the flexible benefit option included in the HEA collective bargaining agreement for fiscal year 22 and fiscal year 23. The total amount due is $202,567.77. Payment of this bill will cause a significant impact on this year's budget. In addition to the flex benefit payment, the district has incurred significant penalties for late TRS contribution reports for fiscal year '24 in the amount of $108,678.47. Ms. Nichols is working with TRS to get these penalties abated due to staffing changes, limited staff training, and excessive errors between iVision and the TRS Gemini system. There are also additional penalties related to excess salary for 3 staff members. These penalties cannot be waived. Last item discussed, fiscal year '25 budget updates. The final budget will be presented for approval during this month's regular board meeting. Since the tentative budget has been approved, additional budget constraints have been identified. These include the TRS payment, a reduction in CPPRT from $1,510,974 to $1,018,059, and changes to the fund balance resulting from the fiscal year audit. The meeting was adjourned. We will need to add the adjournment time. And I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion to be included.
Okay, we did first.
Okay. First and second.
Ms. Rogers. Aye. Ms. Contreras. Aye. Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Finance section.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, action items we have under finance, one under action item 24-185, administration recommends approving the resolution appointing Thornton Township trustee. In your packet, you received information with respect to House Bill 305 that was just shared, giving school districts the opportunity to stay with or move to another trustee for treasurer services. Currently, all the schools, the feeding schools that are part of Thornton Township that we work on, we have a resolution to move forward where each of those programs, they offer a trustee that serves on the board to make decisions that are in the best interest of those districts. And so at this time, we know the board has to select either a board member or a member from the district. In some cases, it's been a superintendent. In many cases, it's been the CSBO because they're licensed, they deal with dollars, they make decisions on schools. And so, being as we're going to ask that the administration recommend approving an individual to fill this position, it is my consideration, I ask that we consider using our CSBO, Mrs. Nichols, as our trustee for Harvey School District 152. So again.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye. Motion carried.
With her acceptance. Yeah.
We're going to action item 2. Administration recommends action to approve the rear roof change order in the amount of $38,000.
So moved. Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Contreras. Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers. Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And action item 3, administration recommends action to approve the TRS flex benefit and penalty payment.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Rogers. Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras. President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Let's move to personnel committee.
You want to read? Okay. All right, Ms. Rogers is going to do personnel report.
Personnel met on Monday, September 3rd. 10 a.m. What's the date?
September 3rd. September 3rd.
September 3rd. The meeting was called to order 10:15. Present at the meeting was Janet Rogers, Dr. Lawrence, Dana Nichols, staff members Selena Thomas, Nicole Wright. Retirements and appointments, there were 2 retirements, there were 3 resignations, there were no appointments, leave of absence was 1. Job description, for the assistant attorney, the job description for LSA, updates on the job description, it's already been taken care of. The new onboarding letter was approved by the committee, should be enclosed in the packet. The paid leave for long-term substitutes, the current law proposes for long-term substitutes to receive sick day was reviewed by the committee and passed on to the administrators at the district to come up with information to pass on to the board. Tuition reimbursement, the proposal review, and there were suggestions to add evaluation components to the language. Principal mentoring, you heard it tonight, it was a little bit brought up at our meeting, and thought it was an excellent presentation. I didn't hear it at that meeting, but I did get some information here that is given to us tonight. Action item will be presented by the superintendent and or the business manager. At this time, I would ask that committee approves the report as read.
Get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Yes, we move to the action items. Action item 1, the administration recommends action to approve the retirements. And those, Francis Kerr, effective end of 26-27 school year, and Stephanie Tucker, effective end of 25-26 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Action item 2, administration recommends action to approve the following resignations for Benjamin Clark, effective August 19th of 24, Harshina White, effective August 19th of 24, and Sharita Hart, effective August 30th of 24.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Question. We have the information received. I think those people owe the district some stuff back. Have we received that back from those people?
There were items that the staff had. Was it turned in? Is the question.
What item?
Maybe computers, Ms. Rogers, do you have
They
nothing?
received it, money, they received quite a bit of stuff, but they returned it back to the district.
I'll look into that, I can't answer that right now. But I will share something with regards to salary for executive session.
Okay.
Motion.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras. Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers. President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We move past item 3 because there were no appointments at this time. Action item 4, administration recommends action to approve leave of absences. We have one for a Sonia Carter, intermittent leave from August through July 1, 2025.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
If we move on to item number 5, you heard the presentation tonight. Administration recommends action to approve the lead educational consulting services proposal not to exceed in excess of $96,000.
Question.
Second.
Are there any questions?
Is that coming from grant money?
That is the plan, and again, it's pending availability of funds. So
We add that to the motion pending availability of the funds from the grant.
We have a first and a second. Call the roll.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
item 6, administration recommends action to approve paid leave for long-term substitute teachers.
So moved. Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And item 7, administration recommends action to approve tuition reimbursement for long-term substitutes.
So moved.
Second.
Is that long-term service approved by the board? Okay, add that to that.
with long-term subs added to it and approved by the board. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second. We already did it.
We already had first.
Oh, we got a first and second, you just amended, add to it.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Majerus.
Motion carried.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, we have policy.
Dr. Morris.
Did we skip one? We had these three after long-term.
Eric and
Then the personnel minute.
They came after the personnel.
Oh, okay, so it's not in our notes?
It's three.
I'm sorry, yes, there are three. They came after the personnel meeting, so that's why they were not in them, but they are listed as action items.
In the minutes, personnel minutes.
Okay, that's right.
Okay, so that would be going back to item 3. The administration recommends action to approve appointments. Isaiah Williams as custodian, night custodian, Thurman LaSure, a night custodian effective September 24th, and Marvin Williams as safety assistant effective September 30th.
So motion.
Second.
Ms. Contreras.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Ms. Rogers.
Abstain.
Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, policy.
Right, so,
Report.
yes, a policy committee, we met Tuesday, September 3rd at 11 a.m. Those present, Ms. Janet Rogers, Mr. Joseph Whittington, myself, Mrs. Thomas, and Mrs. Wright. The discussion, for the most part, was doing our first review of Press Plus issue 115, which is in the packet. And a number of the areas really are just going through the normal 5-year reviews, looking at some of the exhibits and policies there. So we had a chance to look through a number of those items. We then also had a chance to look at the policy for review. We know that 5:125 on employee dress code is one that has been shared and discussed before, but we know that that's one that's going to have future conversation with board members. Just continue getting feedback on our employee dress code and how we move forward in hiring on files. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, October 7th, 2024. We adjourn at 11:50. And therefore, at this time, the policy committee recommends Harvey School District 152 Board of Education approve the first reading of Press Plus issue 115.
Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second. Go.
Call the roll.
Ms. Cameron. Aye. Ms. Contreras. Ms. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So now we need the recommendation for the action.
For the action item. What you just read.
So again, the board recommends Harvey School District 152 Board of Education approve the first reading of Press Plus issue 115.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Rogers. Ms. Cameron.
Aye.
Ms. Contreras. Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Now IASB.
Okay, Ms. Rogers, IASD.
Good evening again. The Illinois Association of School Board has made some updates here, and I'll just take it and pass it around to everyone so you can have a copy. This is for Mrs. Gardner. On South Cook Division, meeting is on 10/3/24, and the event starts at 6 p.m. The location is Tinley Park High School, and registration begins at 5:30. Then the meeting begins at 6 o'clock. We're asking that you guys register for that. You need to see the code tonight to register. Please do not register if you do not plan to attend. Because they will not, they'll take the money, but they will not give you points for it anymore, so it doesn't make sense to register for something, you need to get points. The III Joint Conference is November 21st through the 24th in downtown Chicago. Pre-conference activities begin on November 21st. And I don't know what the board members have signed up. I know I have, and I'm just asking that you sign up very quickly with Nicole. If you do not, a lot of them are filling up right now. So they've been open for what? How long, Nicole?
I'm sorry.
How long have the III committee been open, what, 2 months?
Triple I has been open since June.
Okay, but the committee sign up has been open since June. Okay, so if you don't get something, don't yell at her. It's already been filled a lot. The other thing is, I'm inviting everybody, and I'll pass out the invitation a little bit later. The groundbreaking ceremony of South Suburban College is gonna be October 4th at 1 o'clock. The governor, who just confirmed is not on the flyer, will be there to speak. So they're asking the administrators that can attend, the superintendent, business manager, board members also to be there. They're opening up the new Allied Health Center. It's a $60 million project. Governor will speak, so please stop by. It's a long time coming, something that Frank Zuccarelli really wanted to see, and after he passed away, the governor promised that he would make sure that we got it. Within a month later, we got the money, and he didn't see the building, but the building's gonna be put up, and we're gonna do some memories for Frank Zuccarelli. So please stop by. I don't have anything else for IASB other than October 3rd.
Ms. Rogers, clarification. So if we attend the South Cook Division meeting, we get points still or not?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please, continue.
And now we have our parent advisory.
Good evening, everyone. We are so excited. On last Saturday, we had our 38th annual Back to School Fun Fest, and it was an amazing time. We want to thank the principal over at Brooks for laying out the red carpet for us. We want to thank Ms. Brumfield as well, Brooks staff, Brooks custodial crew. They were amazing. Their staff helped a lot. I also want to thank our committee here at the central office, along with Ms. Bonnie Bell Peace over at Bryant. So thank you, Mr. Anderson, for loaning her to us for that couple of months. Thank you to our board who made everything possible and kept us on our toes. Thank you to Ms. Nichols, who made sure every check was available. Thank you, everyone. It was an amazing time. We are getting emails from all across the city, all across the world, telling us how fabulous it was. So once again, to Miss Dr. Lawrence, thank you. I know this is your first one. So you know how we get down for the next time. We get better and better every year. So again, thank you all very much. It was, hopefully it might be at Brooks next year. So we're in the process in a few weeks of debriefing. So we'll find out what worked, what didn't, what was magical, what was not magical. And we'll know from there what we need to do next year to make it even better for next year. That is the end of my report. Thank you all so very much.
All right, great job. Great. We would like to thank Ms. Luster for leading the way with the 2024 Back to School event.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a great success. When I walked out there, I looked at her and I said, 10.
That's all we need.
Presentation. It's 10, okay, and it was really, all we've heard is positive about it, you know. And when you're planning events, because that's not just a little something, something, that was an event. And you have many hands working in it, many bodies, and everybody did come together and work together. And it was a success.
Yes, it was.
Okay, next we have the foundation report. Ms. Hawkins is not here, and
Mrs. Frank says our information, I can give the information though. Our next meeting, our next meeting is Tuesday, October 15th. FY 24-25, the mini grant applications deadline is going to be coming up on Friday, October 18th. So we know we want to get those out to our teachers so that they can apply for those funds, do some great things with our students. We do know that the Educational Foundation Gala will be coming up on Saturday, November 2nd. It's going to be at Idlewild Country Club. it's gonna be a great time. I know we had a little over 100 people last year, I thought the number was, so of course, we want to ensure that we increase it, but I also just want to remind everyone who participates that all the dollars that we raise, they go back to our students. So not only are you coming out to have a great time and you know, purchase items and all those things, but we are supporting the students in Harvey School District 152. So I know it's going to be a great time. Hope to see you there. And that's all we have on the report this time.
One other thing, Dr. Lawrence, at the meeting last Tuesday, they did select honorees for this year, and we had 2 educators that they selected. One is Ms. Norma Youngwhite, honored, and Mr. Kevin Mix will be honored as an educator.
All
This will be
right.
the first time as educators. We had support staff as Ms. Kimberly Wallace. She's at Brooks now.
Yes.
Correct? Yes. The church would be Shepherd's Community Church. Ms. Lester?
Yeah, on 150th.
The pastor's name?
Oh, shoot, it just left my brain.
Okay, and then our community will be the Renegade Riders Motorcycle Club will be honored.
Who?
Renegade Riders.
I think I'm right back then.
All right. Okay, thank you, Dr. Lawrence and Ms. Wright for giving us the foundation report. Next, we have for your information, it is posted on our site. It is also in the package, so if you really want to see it, you can go to the site, it is there. And that's the 5-day attendance enrollment comparison, our vacancy report, the ECHO report, our technology report, our special service department is here. Do you have a report for us?
I do.
All right. Wasn't gonna leave you out, I just needed to get down the list.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes. Okay. Ms. Patty.
Yes, October 15th is fast approaching, and that is exclusion day for students that don't have their medical compliance. So in Harvey, what happens is students are registered and they don't necessarily have to have it, we encourage it. So what we're asking now is we're pushing for all students to get it in. Majority of the students that are missing it across the schools are kindergartners. So I'm requesting, I reached out to Family Christian to have the mobile van come out, and I've also reached out to UIC and Ronald McDonald so I could get some services to come out to meet the families here in the community, get these physicals and sometimes missing shots completed so we can reduce that number to 0 exclusion on October 15th. I also like to thank the board for the contracted psychologist that you all allowed us to have last month. We were able to get 4 evaluations completed last week. We've got about 9 more EI babies, early intervention, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds coming in that we need to evaluate, and we only have 1 hired psychologist, April Terry, in the district. So with her having the load of the 5 schools, I needed someone to come in to help us get the babies in school that are turning 3. So he did an amazing job. We worked with our psychologists, our current psychologists, the social workers, speech path, OT. We all met last week, and it was very productive. So I have to say thank you. In that same vein, we are still in need of clinicians. I need a social worker at 2 of the buildings, and we need a physical therapist. Although we do have an approved contract for Milestone to have a physical therapist, they have been unable to locate a physical therapist. So we're looking at other contracts, other agencies to possibly get into another contract that may be able to secure. We've got a couple babies in need, and I don't want to have to provide, well, I will at this point, honestly, we'll have to provide compensatory services over the summer because thus far we have not provided that service. So I do want to make sure that we get someone and we get those services intact as soon as possible. Aaron's Law is coming up where we have to present to our K2. Aaron's Law is a House bill, and it's a program that teaches our little children about recognizing sexual abuse. And it equips them with the skills so that they're not vulnerable and they know good touch, bad touch. So this is not new to Harvey. What is new to me is having a virtual parent session. I noticed in Harvey that there is a parent component for the Aaron's Law. So I'm really happy to have that, but it is virtual. And we're going to have that probably the week before. We're going to get the student presentations rolled out the week of October 15th. So we'll probably do the parents the week prior, so they're aware of what we're talking to their children about. So when they come home, they can reinforce it. But again, Aaron's Law is a state policy, it's a state law, and it really just talks to the children about how to say no, how to use their voice to say stop, and just reviewing over the curriculum that's really child-friendly and uses words that they understand it so they can be in control of their body and understand areas that are untouchable to strangers and even family members, that, you know, areas that they should not be touched. So that concludes my special services report. Any questions?
Any questions?
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Fanning.
You're welcome.
Next, we have our multilingual education department. She's not here. Angelo Construction Stakeholders Committee notes? No report. Board poll results, student activity reports, building and ground reports, all is posted. Are there any FOIL requests? No FOIL requests, okay. At this time, the floor is open for the audience for questions and comments.
Good evening. But normally I'm quiet. Tonight I'm speaking on behalf of Harvey Education Association members and also in the privileged position as an employee of the district and a resident of this community. One of the things that has really lamented us over the years is the academic state of our students or data. If we have been really looking at the data, it bears much discomfort and really makes us think that we're in a state of emergency. But today I was really encouraged by a meeting that our administrators at Brooks had with our students. And for the first time, I've heard administrators really getting up in the face of our students and saying to them, you are responsible for this. You will be held accountable for this. And that is one of the things that we have been saying for many years, because to be honest with you, I think that sometimes students are pacified. They're given pacifiers like strawberry, grape, and they're not being held accountable. And today, we were encouraged after we left the meeting, but we do so cautiously because my dad always said, listen to what they say, but watch what they do. So I'm really looking forward to some really actionable steps from our students based on the conversation that they had with our students. And I'm really encouraging everyone, board members, everyone, please take a look at our data, because every piece of data has a name connected to it. And if we take our data seriously and with a sense of urgency that is required, we'll be not helping this generation, but their children's children, and we will be building this community. And as a member of this community, I am looking forward to some improvements, because as taxpayers, we do deserve it. And I know Dr. Lawrence is stepping into classrooms. So I know Dr. Trejo has been in classrooms. I know Miss Granton is very visible in classroom. And I know Dr. Davis is holding teachers accountable for using Savas. And so while I'm hopeful, I am cautiously optimistic that things will change. And I am committed, if it means staying up later in the morning hours to plan, because our students deserve the best of us every day.
Okay. Any other comments from the audience?
I have a comment. Hello, everyone. My name is Carly Matthews. I'm the assistant principal, Brian. I apologize for my tardiness. I have 2 young children at home, so I was just being a mom, and so I didn't miss the presentation. So I just really wanted to talk about summer school. It was one of my favorite summer schools out of the maybe 6 years that I've done it. And it had a lot to do with the staff. The staff, the mandate was for them to coach, like, plan and to co-assessment, create assessments for the team. And the kindergarten team was the most impressive because if you know, they don't have a lot of assessments that's out there for them. So they had to create the assessments on their own. I just really appreciate our STEM teacher, which is Ms. Osagade. We didn't focus on the ordinary STEM. She focused on geometry. So we should see some scores, slight shift in the scores, because she planned from K-5 for geometry. So the whole goal was to be intentional, like Dr. White has spoke on. I look at it as being intentional. They looked at the scores, identified where they felt the students needed. They picked 2 goals for reading, 2 goals for math. And we, called midpoint way, I think I had on my PowerPoint, if you can see, we had a midpoint grade level meeting. And they was able to identify if what they were working on is something that they need to stay on, or if they needed to switch and go on to the next standard. So they was able to do a SWOT analysis on the things that they were teaching. They were able to build from each other because we did kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd and 3rd grade. So it wasn't like it was just a kindergarten meeting or a 1st grade meeting. It was like a cross-cap meeting. And so one teacher said, I think she's from home, Ms. Nazarena, I didn't know what this was going to be, but I'm happy we did it. Because it gave them an opportunity to build on each other. I believe the iron sharpens iron. I worked with Restoration Ministries. We did a couple of giveaways, so the parents were able to come get brand new clothes. At the end, they was able to get clothes from baby items to adult items, and short sets and all of that for the summer. So I really appreciated them. And then we also had a surprise event where we had a Michael Jackson performance. And then you had to be there. It was phenomenal. And so the students were just blown away, especially the little boy who got the bike, because he didn't know he was going to be the one to give a bike. Every summer school I always try to find a bike for the kids, because a lot of times they don't have it, right? And so we really pushed a lot into all of it. And the kids, you can tell that they was excited and that they wanted to be there. And that was the whole goal, is for the excitement. And I think my most favorite part of the year, we did a colors war. And all the different grade levels came in with different colors and different color treats. And so they was excited. And Miss Beans, oh my goodness, she did obstacle courses. The kids kind of like raced against each other. And so it was just exciting, to the point we had to do something every Thursday now, because she made the first event too big. So we had a good time. And so thank you all. Oh, and thank you to Six Ward and Janet Rogers for the coats and the book bags that you all gave Brian students at the back of school fair. So thank you.
All right. Okay, at this time, if there's no other comments, we will prepare to go into closed session for the appointment, employment, compensation, hearing, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing a testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body. to determine its validity. Get a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Ms. Rogers. Ms. Cameron. Ms. Contreras. Ms. Nesbit.
Aye.
Mr. Whittington.
Aye.
President Gardner.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Small amount of action when we return.
Yes, and we kind of did the agenda a little different because some people need to leave, but they want to hear certain things. So we just have a small piece to discuss in the back and look at that.